Hello, and welcome to the last video of the Grand Canary season. As you can see, we have already taken the rental car back to the parking lot, and we are already on our way to do check-in for our return flight. If you remember, the rental car parking lot is a short walk from the international flight check-in area. As you can see, the departure hall is filling up with returning travelers. In Gran Canaria, almost all holiday flights leave at the same time. This way, we have managed to get through check-in and security without any problems. And now it is time to do some final shopping before the flight leaves. Fortunately, the duty-free at Las Palmas Airport is very extensive and has a wide selection of international and locally produced products. As you know, the prices of international products are outrageously high, especially if you know the actual purchase price of these products. Did you know that the duty-free shop at the Gran Canaria terminal is owned by an international Swiss company that has duty-free shops over 75 countries and over 5,000 stores worldwide?
Nämä on niitä samoja, mitä oli siellä.
Would you buy an overpriced Toblerone miniature assortment pack? Comment below. Let's talk about M and M's. At the airport, two 500-gram bags cost 12 euros and 50 cents, and I bought a kilo bag at the local supermarket for 6 euros. And I didn't even bother to look up how much Phaser's chocolate boxes cost when I know I can get the same size box in Finland for half the price. Now that the last-minute shopping is done, it's time to stop by for a coffee before your flight. Did you know that Las Palmas Airport has an outdoor terrace with a direct view of the airport apron where the plane's taxiing? Why don't I take advantage of the opportunity to do some plan spotting? I also have to admit that a phone camera is not the best possible tool for filming airplanes, but now I have to take clips with my phone because my camera's memory cards are full at this point. Our plane for today just arrived, which is a Sunclass Airlines Airbus A321. Here, the departure gates of the flights are always announced 60 to 45 minutes before the flight departs, and we had no sure information whether we would get to the plane via the passenger bridge or if we would have a bus transfer, which I don't really like. Hooray!
Painaa liikaa tähän yhteen jalkaan.
Okay, let's admit that we haven't done all the shopping yet. We still had to go to Ale Hop to buy some slippers that I saw in the window of Ale Hop in Elisio's shopping center. If you haven't seen the episode, click on the link in the upper corner or in the description to watch Road Trip Fail and Surprising Dinner Delights in Puerto Rico Travel Vlog Part 6. There are many other shops and restaurants at Gran Canaria Airport, such as El Market Canarias, Enrique Tomas, Love Me Gran Canaria, Mira Mira, Soho Coffee Co., Sunglass Hut, Super Skunk Travel, Starbucks, and Spar Supermarket, to name a few. It's already time for Ina, the local airport operator, to publish the departure gate for our flight. So let's go check which gate our flight back to Finland departs from. Our flight's gate is C22. I have to admit that it's easy to get confused with the gates here. Some are gates with passenger bridges, but there's also a bus service from the same gate, so it's worth paying attention to which letter code the gate has. I'm going to take the rest of our group to the gate, and I'm going to take a little tour of the terminal myself and see and show you what shops are located further from the terminal. Okay, now we've been around to see another part of the terminal, and it's time to wait for boarding to begin. There's a person on our trip who has limited mobility, so we have to notify the gate agent before boarding begins so that he can ask the attendants to take her to her seat on the plane.
Joo. Sinne voi mennä.
This is the third time that passengers have been allowed board onto the plane before people with disabilities assistance are allowed to take their seats. Of course, I can't be surprised by Ina's actions anymore, because the last few times it's been the same. The first time, people with disabilities were taken on the plane while other passengers were boarding, and the last time we were taken on the plane last because the local gate agent had forgotten to ask for assistance. Bravo!
One eternity later.
Did you know that people with reduced mobility who need assistance to board the plane are always taken to their seats first before other passengers are allowed to board the plane? Why is this? There is a law in the EU that obliges airlines to guarantee safe boarding for all passengers, but especially for those with reduced mobility/disabilities, which is why airlines have a common practice of letting passengers with reduced mobility and those requiring assistance board the plane with their assistant to their own seats before other passengers are allowed to board the plane from the gate. This way, flights stay on schedule and those with assistance do not delay boarding. The same also applies vice versa when the flight has arrived at its destination, in which case those with assistance/reduced mobility are the last to leave the plane, when all other passengers have left the plane. All of this is related to safety, which is stipulated by law, and airlines must comply with these without exception.
A few moments later.
However, the final decision on whether passengers can board the plane is made by the flight purser, who is aware of all passengers who have reported that they have limited mobility and need assistance in boarding the plane. But this is not how the purser on that flight acted, even though EU law stipulates this. This is Sunclass Airlines, which operates as the airline of, among others, Tjäreborg, Ving, and Spies travel agencies. And here you can see how passenger safety and the laws governing it are followed in practice. However, the purser must also know the laws and operating procedures for different types of passengers, which does not work at all on this airline. Finally, the assistant service arrived, but this is already starting to be a ridiculous activity. He did not make any contact with us, but went straight to the gate service agent desk to listen to voice messages. As some of you already know, Spanish people are not very helpful unless you are a native Spanish speaker or a local. This doesn't apply to tourist areas in general, but unfortunately, it is starting to show here too. And what makes this situation even more ridiculous is that we were the only ones in our group who needed to be helped onto the plane the entire flight, and we waited at the gate in the designated spot where we were asked to wait. Finally, they have realized that they made a mistake, and in doing so, they broke EU law. As you can see, here in Gran Canaria, they don't care much about following the law. Now it happens, which should have happened before the other passengers even got on the plane. The disabled person is moved to their own seat on the plane, and of course the others have to wait to board, delaying the flight's departure. Because why take the easy way out when you can do it the hard way? As mentioned, the queue is now standing, and boarding is delayed as the person with reduced mobility is moved to her own seat. But as mentioned in the first video of this season, we have seats in Plus class in rows 2 and 3, which has more legroom. If you haven't watched the first video of this season, you can watch the video and get acquainted with the Plus class service from the link above.
Kiinnittäkää edessänne oleva solki ja kiristäkää nauha. Merkkivalo aktivoituu automaattisesti vedessä. Liivissä on pilli. Pelastusliivi täytetään vetäisemällä punaisesta kahvasta. Liivi täytetään vasta koneen ulkopuolella. Liivi voidaan täyttää myös puhaltamalla suukappaleeseen. Huomioikaa, että miehistön tunnistaa punaisista pelastusliiveistä. Olkaa hyvä ja tutustukaa istuintaskussanne olevaan turvaohjeeseen. Pyydämme teitä nyt tarkistamaan, että käsimatkatavaranne ovat joko hattuhyllyllä tai kokonaan edessänne olevan istuimen alla. Tarkistakaa myös, että turvavyönne on kiinnitettynä lähtöä varten ja selkänojanne sekä pöytänne ovat pystyasennossa. Turvavyö on hyvä pitää kiinni aina kun istutte paikallanne. Henkilökohtaisia elektronisia laitteita, mukaan lukien matkapuhelimia, saa käyttää koneessa, mikäli ne on asetettu lentotilaan ennen lähtöä. Kannettavat tietokoneet ja muut isommat elektroniset laitteet tulee olla asetettuna käsimatkatavaroihin nousun ja laskun aikana. Tulemme nyt tarkistamaan matkustamon lähtöä varten. Matkustamohenkilökunta vastaa mielellään mahdollisiin kysymyksiin. Kiitämme huomiostanne ja toivotamme teille mukavaa lentomatkaa tällä Sunclass Airlinesin lennolla.
After I got on the plane, I discussed the matter with the purser for a while about what had happened. According to her, the airline in question usually puts passengers with disabilities on the plane before other passengers. But the ground handlers had told the purser that they had not seen us, even though we were standing right under their eyes. So this raises questions as to why the purser did not question what the ground handler said and come to check the situation herself. Or does the airline have a rule that get the passengers on plane quickly, close the doors and into the sky with hurry? Or are they no longer interested? At least I know that I can't stand this kind of behavior from the airline, flight crew, or other alliance anymore. After takeoff, the purser came to apologize to us for what had happened and promised us any drinks or snacks from the trolley. But we refused these offers on principle, because these things are things that should never happen, and no amount of free drinks or snacks will make up for what happened.
Arvoisat matkustajat, tervehdys ohjelmasta. Pientä väliaikapäivitystä. Tässä ollaan parhaillaan
As you know, we have chosen meals for the flights at an additional fee. A meal suitable for diabetics, which is now the same as on the outbound flight to Gran Canaria, which includes all the same side dishes, salads and fruit salad desserts, so there is no need to say more about this meal than what was said in the first episode of the season. I took the vegetarian meal for this flight, but now on the return flight, I don't have vegetable balls in a dry tomato sauce, but I have carrot ratatouille, which had the same starter salad, as well as a dessert resembling a fruit salad, which was mostly pineapple and grapes. I thought the ratatouille was better than the vegetable balls I had on the outward flight, but it wasn't so good that I would pay for it again. Okay, now that the food has been eaten and the coffee has been drunk, it's time to enjoy the view. Finally, something happened on this flight, namely turbulence. Although every flight is a different experience and I like flying from point A to point B, I still get bored of sitting during the flight, so turbulence is a nice change. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that big cities look great from the air at night, all the city lights. Anyway, I like flying in the evenings, nights, when the city lights and cities are best visible and don't look like gray specks from the air.
Prepare for landing, please. Cabin crew, prepare for landing, please. Cabin crew, prepare for landing, please.
Tervetuloa Helsinki-Vantaan lentoasemalle. Pyytäisimme teitä istumaan paikoillanne turvavyö kiinnitettynä, kunnes lentokone on täysin pysähtynyt ja turvavyön merkkivalo on sammutettu. Isommat elektroniset laitteet tulee olla käsimatkatavaroissa, kunnes turvavyön merkkivalo sammutetaan. Voitte poistaa nyt lentotilan matkapuhelimista ja tableteista. Pyydämme teitä olemaan varovaisia avatessanne matkatavarahyllyjä ja muistattehan ottaa kaikki henkilökohtaiset tavarat mukaanne myös sieltä istuintaskuista. Huomioittehan poistuessanne koneesta, että oven ja matkustajasillan välillä saattaa olla korkeuseroa, joten jos matkustatte pienten lasten kanssa, pidäkään heitä kädestä kiinni koneesta poistuessanne. Kapteenin ja koko tämänpäiväisen henkilökunnan puolesta toivomme, että viihdyitte seurassamme tällä Sunclass Airlinesin ja Tjäreborgin lennolla. Kiitos näkemiin ja tervetuloa lennollemme uudelleen.
joku nyt 5 kertaa suuttelin täällä. Sitten läpi sitä samaa aikaa.
Welcome back to Finland, to Helsinki-Vantaa Airport, where this week-long journey began. It's about 11 p.m. local time, the weather is clear, and it's 2 degrees below zero outside. So the almost 30-degree difference in temperature is palpable. Next, just pick up your luggage from the baggage claim, pick up your car from the parking garage, and head home to your own bed to sleep. Of course, you'll have to wait a few more hours before you can go to bed. As I said, with my luck, the luggage belt where our luggage comes is always, almost always, the furthest and last one. Special thanks to all those of you who continuously support our work with donations. But whether you are a sponsor, a subscriber, or simply stopping by for this one video, thank you very much for watching and coming along. If you're down for another video, we recently published video for Discovering Melanera's Abandoned Mall. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and press the bell so you'll always be the first to know when a new video is released. Thanks again watching and safe travels, and see you very, very soon.